Oh my goodness gracious. What a crazy morning trying to get online. What? What? Okay. We're here. La, 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 la. Wow, it's really bright light on my face. Why? And it's cloudy out. I'm trying to get the lighting thing down, the whole look down, and it keeps changing. That's live. That's live. That's what all the people say. Elaine, Marolakos, Edelson here with Astrology Mojo and transformational astrology. I want to help you get your mojo back. We are talking about a lot of things today that deal with energy. You were searching for me and you found me and I found you. Hi, everybody. Let me know that you're here and let me know your birthday. I don't need the year because I won't be doing a reading or the time, but your birthday is in your month and your day. And we're going to talk about energy healing. And when my husband is off of his conference call, maybe he could dig up the Bodhi Brainstorm energy link that I have for everyone. My gift to you. I actually had it all ready to just plug it right in to the comment section. And then what happened? I couldn't get into my video section on Facebook. So I thought, okay, just let's find a door. And I found a door in the most unlikely place. Hi, we had the computer completely fry in our 2004 lesson. We got to fix. Good. I'm glad you had a warranty. Hey, honey, if you can find the Bodhi Brainstorm link for everyone. So we have an Aries, April 16th. Welcome, Aries. I am a Taurus. We have a Cancer, Sage. We have a Libra. I'm also going to be doing a little bit of gift giving today. So I'm just going to write these down. Becky, Kathleen, July 16th, Kathleen. Breathe. Okay, so just hang on a second. So I'm just going to write this down. Sage is 11, 14, and Laura Lee is April 4/16. Kathleen. That reminds me of Kathleen Madigan is one of our favorite comedians. And when she imitates her mother talking to her, Kathleen. Now, why would I do that, Kathleen? Okay, so Kathleen, we got 7/16. Today is my sister's birthday, Laura. Happy birthday, Laura. She is also a Cancer, just like my husband. And Becky is 11/28. Sag, Cancer, Aries, Libra. Wow. We're covering a lot of things today, so stick around while I get organized. It took me 27 minutes to make this happen. And normally it doesn't take that long. Facebook was not cooperating today. All right. So I'm just going to raise my volume just a little bit to make sure, unless it's too hot. Oh, I see that. My husband's giving me the thumbs up. Isn't that the best? When somebody you care about gives you thumbs up. I don't know why, but I have commercial songs, jingles running through my head. You'll love it. It levitates. What is that about? Okay. We're going to be talking about energy techniques today. Now, I also will be talking astrology. So, folks, if you're new to me and you are not familiar with astrology, or you're familiar with astrology and you're not new to me, just keep this in mind, that the planets don't do anything to you. No. We live in a cooperation with the cosmos so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. And when you make a move, the planets reflect that by way of aspects and angles. So when I read something in astrology, and I listen to a lot of astrologers, I'll go on to YouTube and just randomly type, just to hear what other people are talking about and saying, and I'm not hearing this too often, except sometimes in esoteric astrology, I will hear it, which is a very cool version of astrology. because it's more about, I talk a lot about esoteric and mundane, or I used to years ago, all the time. Esoteric is the higher vibe of things. Mundane is the everyday, what people want to know about regarding, am I going to, make more money, going to get that job, or are we ever going to get married, or, when can I have a baby, that kind of stuff. I like to go more, I integrate the two, and we're a combination of everything, right? How can it be otherwise? So we start off just being very grounded in, this is my world, this is my day. But as we progress and we grow, which the whole point of being here is transformation, then it's looking at how can I move my energy to actually create a bridge to get what I need and want. You have everything you need right here. It's a matter of choosing. But when we look at, how come I don't have it and I'll never get it, then that's where we get stuck in the illusion that we are separate from the things around us. And we are not. What have I been talking about the past couple of lives? I've been talking about energy, your aura, your physical plane, your astral plane, your mental body, your emotional body, the etheric body, the celestial body. We have so many bodies that stretch out to, it varies. People will say 3 feet-ish. I say 5 feet-ish. And you output waves that are so intense, and they can be happy waves, they can be sad, they can be anything you're feeling. You'll see it in the aura, right? Why is it so bright? Stop that. See, that's the color. Wow. See that? That is the color of my office and my blouse. Less orange, please. All right, you Mercury in retrograde little rascal. You're playing with me, aren't you? All right, so we are going to be talking about just a few types of energy work and what you can do to help yourself move that energy. And then I'll get into, for a few minutes, I'll just do a little bit of, hi, Cindy. Just what you can look forward to in your year. So Cindy is right on the cuspy, but looking like a Taurus to me, 421. How is everyone feeling right now? We've got, let's see, I have the chart. You can take a look at this. We have Sun in Cancer. We have Mercury in retrograde in Leo, and then it's going to move into Cancer. But right now it's optimistic, it's excited, it's going in. All retrogrades are about going in. And we also have Saturn getting closer to the 15th, because that's what this chart is for. Today's the 12th, but we're just about there. Pluto, Capricorn, South Node, Capricorn, Saturn and Moon, Capricorn by the weekend. And it's a lot of, my back hurts and I don't know why, or I'm so overwhelmed, or I just want to go home and hide, or it's, I think I want to build a patio. Yeah, I've never done that. What do we need to build a patio? How do we make an extra room? Let's sell some furniture and just start over. There's a whole lot of stuff that's moving and spinning in energy. And when Mercury in retrograde, people get so afraid of retrograde. And, okay. Come on, let's calm it down. We don't have to be afraid of a retrograde. You've lived through them throughout your entire lives, and before you even knew they existed, they existed. So does stuff go haywire when it's retrograde? A little more often noticeable, yes, because your perception is more about being in a flow of something, and when it doesn't work, suddenly you're startled and you say, well, hey, I used to be able to use that telephone. Why isn't it working? What's wrong with this app? How come the Wi-Fi is turned off on its own? How come, what happened to the car? In our car, we couldn't close the window. This is an electric device. So my husband ordered the part and we're waiting for the right time to actually reinstall it. So little things will go wrong like that, or stop the flow. Isn't it so inconvenient? And we get so incensed when we can't suddenly have what we want when we want it. And I want it now. Right? We're so used to convenience. Okay, my friend, if you are on this and you're listening to me right now, even if it's in a replay, You are what I would call the 1% of this planet that has the luxury of electricity. Just saying. All right, let me find my happy cards. You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. Am I making you laugh? I'm so happy. It is my purpose to give you joy. Now, I started out as a kid seeing fairies and angels and energy and, all that stuff. And you probably did too on some level. Whether you acknowledged it or not, it's there, right? So when I got a little older and realized that I needed to make some changes in my life, and if I didn't make changes, nothing would change. It was hard for me to let go. It was so hard. But my dedication to, and here's how I would do it. 30, almost 30 years ago, I would be smoking cigarettes going, I can feel it as soon as I quit. Something major is going to happen and it's scaring me to death. And I would light another cigarette. I didn't always smoke them. I would just put them in the ashtray. That's how stubborn I was. Like, yeah, I'm going to quit. Not right now, but I will. And then I replaced that with incense. And so eventually I made the progression out of the smoke phase. But I knew that something, I could feel it internally, right? You know when something's coming, don't you? Thumbs up, give me a yay, give me a hey holler, give me a hoorah, give me a what? Why are my bangs? We have monsoon. Look, I got the wave. I got a wave in my hair. What is that? I feel like my name is Doris, and I'm from Missouri. Okay, no offense to anyone named Doris in Missouri. But my hair is just, we have monsoons are on their way, and my hair starts to do the voluminous thing. So I had it wrapped up in elastic bands, and I have it tied back because my hair was out to here this morning. And I thought I'd lose my face. You wouldn't be able to see me. That's the Leo moon in me. I love my hair, my power. It's right there. Am I getting sidetracked? I don't know. We are talking about energy. Have you seen colors of light in random places? Always. They're called auras. And sometimes you can see orbs, or you can see the ministrations of all types of energies doing their thing. So when you see colors, what you're seeing is energy, because what are we? We're energy. What is everything that we make? Energy. We see the lines that separate us from the chair, from the wall, from each other. But really, we emanate a vibration that moves out in every direction. So how can you not see it? And so when you're someone who's sensitive and you're ready to become more, it's so important to get grounded in boundaries. So it's important also to understand what energy is, how it moves, and how you can move it so that you get rid of the density in your body, in your mind, in your experiences, because everything that you are gets projected outward and it creates matter. So what's the matter? You're the matter. All right, I'm going to coin that phrase. You are the matter. What's the matter? You're the matter. Pass it on. Elaine said so. Okay, so when we're looking at moving energy, it's important to understand that focusing through breath and meditation helps you to get centered in your body, mind, spirit connection. And there are different energy types. Hey, Bianca's here too. Hey, Bianca. Scorpio extraordinaire. It's important to move this thought that you have. Oh, here's the card that I pulled. With love. Thank you, universe, for completing my sentences. What is it in Jerry Maguire? You complete me. Thank you, universe. You complete me. And it's true. So when love is in the air, how is it not ever in the air? It is predominantly a neutral experience. Okay, so energy is what you choose to do with it. It's not positive or negative as such. you look at a windstorm and it knocks over your potted plants or your backyard furniture, and all your flowers get thrown to the ground, and you think, oh my God, that was horrible. And was it? I don't know. Maybe some of those seeds that you have in your backyard got transported a few thousand miles away, and things are growing in someone else's backyard. Is that horrible? I don't think so. So you have to look at your perception, especially during this Mercury in retrograde in Leo, which is a very high vibe. Oh, and I'm going to come full circle about that. We're going to talk more about energy, but I want to talk about Mercury in retrograde for just a moment, since we're here. And technological things might go awry. You book a flight when Mercury is retrograde. On top of that, if the moon is void, forget it. Things are going to change anyway. So, relax. Just flow with the go. But if, let's say you're booking a flight and you get the exact seat you want and the hour and the time, and you do it in a retrograde, you can bet that the very next time, well, either when the retrograde shows up again or when your flight shows up, something will change. Either the flight time changes, and it could be 5 minutes, no big deal. But if it changes for 45 minutes and then you miss your connecting, you see how it can snowball into something that becomes really inconvenient. And so what I want you to get straight is that we're not attempting to manipulate everything to control it to our favor. Although, wouldn't that just be a luscious kind of no. What we're attempting to do is move energy so that we are not thwarted by life. There is a difference. And so when you move your energy, when you change your perceptions, and then you alter your experience, what happens is you become more aware of what's possible. And you might call it coincident. Oh, isn't that wild? I ran out of gas, and then this happened to us when our daughter was younger, and we took her, Aaliyah and a friend of hers, to an event in Phoenix, which is about 90 minutes away. I don't think it was, I forget what it was that we went to, a play or a show or a museum. I don't know what it was, but we got a flat tire, and we were in a no-cell zone service area. And there weren't a lot of cars. And we're like, oh, okay. So I immediately didn't go into, oh my God, we're going to be like, oh my God, this is awful. I went into, we could use a little help. Thank you so much in advance. And let's just, expect that. Expecto patronum that. A few minutes later, a car drives by, keeps going. Then another car drives by and pulls over right in front of us. A guy gets out and he goes, you guys need help? And we said, we do. We got a flat tire. And my husband also has had back surgery. So we didn't want to, injure him anymore. So the guy opens up his trunk. He has all these tools and he goes, well, and he tells us his story. One time I got stuck and it was an awful thing. And, it was real. It was whatever the details were. And we were like, oh my gosh, wow. And he said, and somebody came by and helped me and they didn't have to. And it was a really out of the way place. And he said, and I promised to myself, I said, the next time I see somebody pulled over and I'm pulling over. And so we were the gift. He was our gift. And so when you have an experience, just remember, you can alter the outcome. Now, you may not believe it. I went and I spoke. I used to speak on stage a lot around the country. And I spoke at this one real estate event. And I was telling people, listen, if you're having trouble buying, selling properties or moving, your inventory, you can also create an energy bridge to what's happening, or put energy into the house, and by way of lights or chimes, and that's also a feng shui practice. All this energy work that can happen. And so we finished talking for the morning. We all went to lunch. We came back, and I was sitting at the VIP table. As I had offered an event, and people who signed up got to sit with me, and we were chatting. And somebody came over to me and said, Elaine, I just have to tell you, my friends and I went out to lunch and we needed to get back because we had to be at a certain table at a certain time. And we couldn't get a cab. It was so busy, and it started to rain, etc. And he goes, so they were all like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And then one of them, this guy said, hey, let's just all focus right now on a cab stopping so that we can get in the cab and get back to the event. And they did it. They were shocked. I said, it's surprising, isn't it? When things go that easily, you think, wait, where's the catch? Is there a sucker punch coming? I don't believe it. Right? What do you say? What does somebody say when they win the lottery or they win a local fair toy, or, you know, would you buy coupons or something at a raffle event, and you go, oh, I don't believe it. Believe it. Listen to your words. It creates the energy around you. Is it Shaida? Shaida? April 16th, we have another April 16th. 16 in the house. I'm saying. S-H-A-I-D-A, Aries rule. So that's another 16. So the two of you, Laura Lee and Shaida, listen up when I talk later about your years and what to expect. All right, so let's talk about some energy techniques. First of all, has anyone here experienced energy techniques? You know, like the Alexander technique, Reiki, laying on of hands, the Barbara Ann Brennan. This is what we're going to talk about. I have a video. If you haven't seen, go to my Facebook page. Maybe Dean can post that link, or it might show up on Facebook somewhere. And you can go to my YouTube page, and all of my videos will be right there. So you can listen to all of them and glean information that might help you. And in one of them, or two of them, there's EFT tapping technique. So let's just talk about energy work right now for a moment. Energy work is conscious application of moving energy for the purpose of healing. It's that simple. Now, because there's so many people on the earth, and because there's so many versions of belief systems on the earth, and because there's so many ways to access energy, but actually there's the easiest way is what I'm going to tell you in a little bit. There are different techniques. Now, there's EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, that was developed by Gary Craig, who worked with an acupuncturist. Because if you were to go and get acupuncture, who here has had acupuncture? Anybody? And to have acupuncture works on the meridians in the body. And to activate, and it doesn't hurt. I mean, if the person's worth their weight and they know what they're doing, you don't feel the needles. But if you're afraid of needles, you can actually go get some EFT, do some EFT, Emotional Freedom technique, and do some tapping to reduce your fear and minimize the fear of needles. And then you go do the acupuncture. You see, so all methods are cohesive. They all work together, which is a very cool thing. Okay, so we've got Donna Eden. Yeah, energy alignment with Reiki. So when you're doing Reiki, when you're doing any kind of energy work, what you're doing first and foremost, no matter what the method, the technique, who coined it, who mastered it, who put a register mark on it, energy is energy wherever you go. It's everywhere, whether you're on planet or off planet. Energy is energy. So the first thing that you as a human being who is sitting in a chair or a couch or someplace quiet needs to do to access that energy consciously, keyword, is to remember that this is what you are. You're pure conscious love. So you're already attuned to the frequency if you pay attention. So let's just imagine a wheel and it's spinning. And the wheel is your mind. And you got work to do. You've got to pick up the groceries. You've got some people coming over for dinner tomorrow. The kids made a mess in the backyard. So you've got stuff. We all have stuff. But when you actually sit down and focus on being present with who you are right now, with breath, prana. Breath is what attaches your body to your access. breath. It is so simple. How many times, it doesn't matter the circumstance. You could be in a car accident and the paramedics come and say, just breathe. All right, now just relax, just breathe. Right? You're just breathing. So breath helps you to calm it down, number one. Number two, when you maintain the breath, and it doesn't have to be high energy breathing. There's all types of breathing. There's rebirthing breathing. There's ujjayi breathing, back of the throat, in yoga, yogic breathing. But staying centered through breath, bringing your mind back to the present just by remaining present with the rise and fall of your breath of your chest as your body is breathing. Now, when you breathe closed mouth, you are building energy. When you breathe, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, you are expelling energy. So if you've got tension, worry, doubt, trauma, stress, nerves, endings, fried, in through the nose, out of the mouth. Okay? Just doing that a few times a day. Actually, let me amend that. Just doing that a few times an hour can help you stay as present as possible. We are in the moment, folks, and no matter what we're talking about, astrology basically just tells you what time it is. It's not a positive or negative thing. I hear astrologers and people talk about, Pluto, is going to come and it's going to kick you in the ass, and good luck. It's a rough one. What I see instead is when a planet is doing something, it tells me what you're ready for. It's your timing. So it's not the planet that's kicking you or slapping you. Wake up! The planet's not doing that. You are. Some part of you is grabbing you by the shoulders and going, time to wake up now. And so the energy methods that I'm talking about can help you get very centered in what you draw to you, how you manifest, the bridges that you create between yourself and the world, between yourself and people, between yourself and your goals, your projects, and your profession. Job is what you do to make money, pay the bills. A profession is what your soul, spirit has come here to do, to make the contribution to Earth. We live at a very exciting, very energetic time now. It's very important that you understand external toxins. Stop the process. So if you're eating a bag of potato chips and a canned cheese thing, it might taste really good, but your awareness is going to dull and dim. No judgments. Just be aware of what you're putting in your body, because every cell is a bright, sparkly representation of the entire universe. Yeah, you are that powerful. What do you want to do with it? Well, let me see. Do we have any? We have a non-puncturing Korean acupuncture. And so acupressure is also very similar to the EFT tapping technique. There's a short version now, and then there's the longer version. Then we have January 10th. Vicky, I want to make sure I get everybody. So that's 110. And anybody else? Okay, so let me talk about just a couple of techniques. A guy named Richard Gordon, I think it was in the 80s, came up with the quantum touch technique. And it's not using anything about divinity or the universe or the cosmos. It's just utilizing breath to maintain a balance within the body so that the mind is clear. There's one. Then there's EFT, we talked about, emotional freedom technique. And this protocol, this tapping protocol, is not for everyone. Some people don't, they don't want to feel the tapping. But if you're open to it and you do it, and you can check out my video on that on my YouTube channel, is that this particular protocol, Gary Craig, and I used to actually had a nice conversation with Gary a long time ago when I first started doing EFT, and he worked with an acupuncturist, because if you were to touch every point in the body, it would take a long time. You'd have a lot of needles sticking out of you, and Kung Fu Panda comes to mind. And so a lot of the meridians run up and down, or, laterally, vertically, horizontally. They run in matrices. So if you hit one, you can hit the others. Finger positioning is important too in acupuncture, or any version of that. You can get that in Reiki as well. But what's even more important is that when you hit, and I'll take my glasses off, when you start doing the protocol and you start the long version, is on the side of the fingers, here, and the back of the hand, eyes rolling, humming, singing, talking, and then you come to the tapping part by the eyebrow, into the eye, under the eye. It's like a question mark, here, 7 times each, right under the collarbone, under the arm, under the breastbone, and the top of the head. And that's the basic round that you do over and over again, but you measure yourself ahead of time, on an issue. And you might go, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I feel really angry about, and you fill in the blank. And then it's like a 7, feels like a 7. And then you do your whole tapping thing with the verbiage that goes with it. So it's a whole process that once you get it down, you can lower the intensity and mitigate it, if not neutralize the intensity of the issue. And what happens if you're paying attention, that's why I say breath starts the whole ball rolling, is that you might be tapping on, oh, he pisses me off. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I was really scared. Oh, wow. So that comes up, and then, you keep tapping, you go, I was really scared, really scared, really scared. And then the next thing comes up, so that all the layers that you have combined together, that sandwich and confuse matters, because you might think, I'm so wounded. I'm so pissed off, but I'm so wounded, and that person betrayed me, and I'm really upset. And then you contract, and your energy contracts. And so when your energy contracts, you're not breathing. You're in pain. Cells, look under a microscope, this is true. Cells will cluster when they are in pain, emotional or physical. So breath puts space and light between the cells so that they start to free float a little bit more. And the Browning movement doesn't start. Browning movement is in science when one cell is doing its thing and suddenly it bumps into another one, and that one bumps. And just imagine bumping into a bunch of people at the mall and big time bumps. Everybody, and it just keeps going, and then there's chaos. So when you want to stop that, you breathe. Always inhale. Exhale. Out of the mouth, you're expelling something. You're releasing the pressure. If closed mouth breathing usually involves the ujjayi, the back of the throat, and you're building power. So you want to build power after you've released the tension. Okay. Now, Reiki founded by, forgive me if I'm not pronouncing this right, Mikao Usai. And this energy technique is very popular in mainstream America. And it's also being pulled into medical avenues as well. Now, I have a new friend. Her name is Kat Wolf, and she's a Reiki master. And she gave me a session last week. Oh, it was heaven. And not only did she give me a session with her energy, but she commented on my energy and what came through her and who was around. Because I travel with an entourage. And all my peeps were around to support her as well while she was giving me energy. And we had a nice conversation about that. So she's awesome. And, if people try to translate foreign words, especially Asian words, they don't always have a direct translation. In the Romance languages, I could translate something from Italian or Spanish to English, and it would sound similar, or German, it would sound similar. But Reiki is broken down to Rei could be a ghost. Depends, because, in the Japanese language, it's not about the written word. It's about the characters drawn in Hanji. And so you alter a shape, you change a line in the character, and it changes the meaning completely. So Rei is about, technically, I would call it the subtle wisdom of the universe. Some people call it God. Some people translate it as, higher power. So Reiki literally is, and the key part is the chi part. You've heard of Qigong or Qi. That energy is, it's the infinite flow, really. So it's the infinite flow of universal wisdom. And so let's put it together like that, because I take God, the word God, out of the picture, because it can have so much detrimental meaning for so many people that limits them. And on top of that, not everybody believes in God. And just like Feng Shui is not a spiritual practice, it's a practice of energy. Reiki is not a spiritual practice. It is a practice of energy, and it brings in universal flow. And the universal flow, just like Arcturian codes, if you're familiar with those, they help you to dispel vows and contracts that you have made lifetime after lifetime. So Reiki can support the living being that you are and the spiritual being that you are as you are expanding your awareness into all of your bodies, right? So then that brings us out to 3 to 5 feet of energy. Who are we? After a Reiki session, after EFT, after neuro-emotional technique, NET, who are we? We're putting love into the world. That's who we are. We're pure conscious love, and we're in action of. We are actively moving that into the world. That is a powerful place to be. And then you don't have to do, protest, say, petition, argue, negotiate. There's not a whole lot of that if your energy is together. So now, for those of you who are not familiar with the energy bodies, I'm going to bring that up again. Let me just stick that up to the top, move that to top. Okay, energy bodies. Now, let me just make that a little bigger. Okay. So it's a basic drawing of the human figure in line with the chakras. Now, the chakras are the centers of the body, the physical body, that connect the spirit to the physical. And it's a Sanskrit word, and it means wheel. And so when the wheel spins, which is always spinning unless it gets clogged, because of physical or emotional traumas, because of lack of nutrition, because of clouded mental faculties, then there's disruption. Then there's less healing, less presence of mind. Make sense? Just let me know this is making sense. Oh, you're not late, Rhonda. You're just on time. So the bodies that we have emanate vibes from our chakras centers. And so we are physical beings, yes. Then we're moving into the emotional plane and the mental plane. And our thoughts, when they couple with a feeling, create a perception. And those perceptions create a neuron. And that neuron creates a frequency, and that frequency outputs an energy, and that energy creates your aura, and that aura attracts to you and magnetizes to you who you are. There's life in a nutshell. Yeah. So, if you don't like what your world looks like, if you don't like how things are going, you got to get centered, calm, and breathe. Now, I'm just going to turn that off for a second. Take a drink. Making sense? Does this make sense to everybody? Yay, nay? Let's just take a breath. I want to start singing John Lennon. All we are saying, you know the rest, is give peace a chance. Deborah's here. A TBI. I perceive that Sage says, I perceive that a TBI might change the color. What is a TBI? What's a TBI? The best intention. No? All right. How about, I don't know. You tell me. All right. Let's get on with some more energy techniques. If you're just joining us, we're talking about energy techniques that you can utilize to help alter what's going on in your world. EFT is one of my favorites. It's easy to do. Tapping, get to the issue, mitigate the energy. Reiki, which is the flow of universal energy, really helps to align things. And my session with Kat Wolf the other day was superb. And she's an Aries. And, and this is a funny story. When I first started out, there's some comments here. Traumatic brain injury. Oh my gosh. Yes, of course. Any injury. So Sage writes, I perceive that a TBI, traumatic brain injury, might change the color. Any experience you have, if somebody came by and looked at you and said, you look like crap today, there goes a color in your aura that comes from the emotional, physical plane. Something's coming your way. You don't see it, but you're attracting something. It shows in your aura. It shows in all the bodies that you have. There are over 12 bodies. Yeah. And so we're not just little people in bodies. We're not little baby hobbits. We are connected to everything. So if anybody has an injury, it shows. If anybody is congested or constipated or eating junk food, or they have an illness, or they are depressed, the gray shows in the aura. When Aaliyah was little, I bought her, Dean and I bought her a little cardboard book, and it was about, oh my gosh, Dean, what was that book called? I think it was by the guy who wrote the Caterpillar book, and I'm forgetting that too. And it is the color I am today, and gray day, everybody's gray, purple day, this is how I feel. So I used that book to introduce Aaliyah at the age of 5 to chakras. And and we had testing on it. We had her aura picture done, which I showed last video, last event. And so and in case you haven't seen mine, this is my aura when I am working with people. And after I meditate as well. I do a lot of chanting, a lot of meditation. I like to use mantras. And the mantras, by the way, Sanskrit word, and what it means is to free the mind. Of what? Of what? How about all the limitations that we perceive? Cognitive dissonance. Because you want an outcome, you'll only look at certain facts that support your outcome, not the whole picture. So let's try to be a little bit less judgmental and more neutral about our assessments of people and situations. So when we're looking at moving energy, whether you do Reiki or theta wave healing, and by the way, Dean, did you post it already? My gift to you, but my Bodhi Brainstorm audio recording. You must use headphones. It comes with a PDF. Dean will post the link if he hasn't already, and please go and get it and listen to it. Now, it's a 20-minute audio that I made myself, and it has binaural beats, so they come in at different times into your ears, so you need headphones. Listening to it while you're, cleaning the house is not going to work unless you have headphones on. But meditating is the ultimate, right? And then there's theta waves. But I also have rolling alpha and delta waves in here too. So, even 10 minutes will help you to really move the energy, and the PDF explains it all, inside your brain so that you can stop narrow focusing on things that don't support you. Okay? All right. So, DC Ismay says 8/25. So that's August 25. Virgo. Okay. What other forms of energy work? Barbara Ann Brennan healing. Oh, this is a great story. So I am 59 right now. And when I was 25, I want to say, 4, I worked at a newspaper at night. My life was changing drastically. I was a little depressed. I'm being kind to myself. And I didn't know who I was or what I was doing, but I had to pay the bills. So I got a job in the art department and slapping down, news stories on the layout page. And I worked with a bunch of people that, they were very nice people. And some thought I was whacked because I talked about, dreams and meditation and crystals and, me being me. So, what happened then was one of the gals, and she was a Cancer. I don't remember her name. I just remember her sign. And she had, I don't know how she acquired a book. And it was Barbara Ann Brennan's Healing Hands book. And this book, we were on break, and she had this, and it's a pretty large book. And she came up to me and she said, I'm trying to change the color in the back. There we go. Oh, wow. I waved my magic wand. And she said to me, I don't understand a word, but my feeling was to give it to you. And I said, thank you. And I went home and I opened the book. It was like coming home. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And Barbara Ann Brennan was a NASA physicist. Do you ever stop being a physicist? I don't know. But let's just say she's in her early 70s, I think now. She is a NASA physicist. She doesn't work at NASA any longer because what she started to do was document the vibration of energy. Oh, sweet mystery of life, at last I found you. Who was that? Anybody remember the movie Frankenstein? Madeline Kahn. And I fell in love. And so I had already started practicing laying on of hands energy work because I carry the fire orange, and you can see that in the aura. So that when I work with people, you can see the orange, it's fire orange. When I work with people, and it doesn't matter, energy knows no bounds, so that when I work with people, I'm sending out energy, and it's the fire orange. So I used to work with people in my studio back in New Jersey, and actually they'd be in front of me, and I'd be, assessing them energetically. And to do laying on of hands, you have to be really centered, and so that you can pick up hot and cold spots on a person's body, and then just say, oh, wow, I remember working on this one woman, and she was so light and happy, and she was a sales rep. And she was just starting out in her career, and she was really excited. And she just, would come to me and she'd say, I don't know what's wrong. I just feel really stiff, in my shoulders. And, so we started doing some laying on of hands energy work, and it was so fun. And then I had her sit down, and I said, I'm just going to have you sit down. Usually I would have people stand, and I would assess them front and back. But when I started to work my hands around her spine, I came to her lower spine, and I literally put my hand around her this way, had my hand on her back, and I pushed her stomach in, and I, not hard, just like a little pressure on her stomach, and I put pressure on her lower spine, and she snapped into place, and she started crying. And I said, let's talk about that. She was like, oh my gosh, I was in a car accident, 5 years ago, and it all came out. And I said, okay, so you had a little release. Let's just take a break. And now we can rebuild on the energy. So you understand, when you have a traumatic event and you heal your body, you have to remember to heal the energy of your body too. The spirit is an extension of the light. Here. This bad boy is very heavy. It's like 6 pounds. But imagine this is everything. I want you to imagine this is the whole of the universe. It is everything. It is everything that exists everywhere. Okay? Everything. There's no boundary. There's no line. But what happens is there are streams of light that come out of everything, and they become your spirit. And at some point we'll talk about monadic structures and the 12 that are created simultaneously. But let's just stick with this topic. When you come from the whole, you're a stream of light. You don't leave it completely. We are streams of light, and those are the spirit. That's who we are. The spirit enters the body. The soul is so big. It is everywhere. It cannot possibly just sit in one little box called you. So you're expanded. Now, when you have an experience in anything, you get a new lover, you buy a new house, you have a baby, you are happy reading this great book that you couldn't wait, because you love the author, you're eating the best food ever. When you have an experience, your body ripples that experience and the memories exist. Now, if it's a happy experience, you can always pull on that no matter what lifetime you're in. If you had a peaceful lifetime filled with riches, joy, and people to hand you food, pull on that. And remember that. It's still part of you. If you've had trauma, no matter what lifetime you're in, you still have that unless you let it go. Now, that's why I like Arcturian code healing, because let's see, I worked with Gene Ang on that. I also go to YouTube, and I think his name is Steve Noble. He does, he's from England, and he does audio recordings on Arcturian healing. Arcturus is way out there in the constellations, and those are my ET family. I don't like calling them ETs, but I'll call them my light worker peeps. And they work heavily with humans to help them raise their level of awareness and to break old contracts. And so when you break an old vow, you let go of being responsible for something that happened whenever. Last year, 10 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, whether or not you were on this planet. And so you carry energy. And that's why I'm talking about these energy techniques, because I want you to get involved. So when I read through Barbara Ann Brennan's book, of course, half of it was like, I don't understand the science, but I'm looking at the pictures. And looking at the frequencies and looking at the chakras, because she works heavily with chakra energy. And that really spoke to me, because so did I. So a healing technique in the world will resonate with you, because you've either done it before or you're open to it now. So either way. And so when I work with people, and I'm also developing not just one-off readings, because, I can give you a reading, and please, Dean might, I saw him leave his office. But Dean, if you're in your office, if you can post, I've got 2 more sessions available for the Power Eclipse session. And we're going to talk about your 18 to 19-year trajectory from the past, what's happening now, and what's stopping you, and why you keep spiraling through the same issues, so we can break that pattern and move forward. And I'll give you exact steps on how to do that. Now, when I work with people, and then after, it's like a few months later, this happened to me just 2 weeks ago. And then yesterday, I have 2 of my clients who come back, once, twice a year, and they say, well, now I want to keep going, but how do we do that? Do I check in? So I will be developing something that I'll let you know about. So once we have an initial session, we don't have to keep having an initial session, because once I'm already attuned to your vibe, then we could just go from there. And then you check in with me once, twice a month, and I will give you things to do. You do them, you come back, we go to the next place, so that there's progression, okay? Because people who just do one-off readings, it's like, I hope that helps you, but you got to do the work, right? And then they come back to me and go, well, what else do you have? And it's like, well, did you do what I asked you last time? Did you focus on those things? Because that's when you're going to see the change. And so that's how I'm minimizing the the usage of my energy, where I say the same thing over and over and over to clients and clients and clients. And after a while, people who are not doing the work eventually will not come back to me, because I'll just tell you the same thing. So might as well do the work. And it's not hard work. It's fun work. It's like, hey, watch these 3 movies and then write this down and tell me what you got from that. Or go give your mom a call. This one client I had a difficult time, and, oh my gosh, you won't leave me alone. I'm the one who's closest. And so I said, you know what you can do is, instead of waiting for her to call you, call her. Switch the energy. Turn it around. Call her and say, I miss you. I want to take you out for a cup of tea. What day is good? And she did that, and her mother was flabbergasted. And it broke a pattern. You see, when we create a pattern, sometimes we don't see how we get stuck in the cyclical, spin. Let me help you break your patterns. Okay, let me just see. Synchronicity is trippy right now. Everything you're saying, I'm like, whoa. Exactly. Talitha says, where in New Jersey? I lived in Metuchen. Hey, yeah, upstate New York, so much prettier. I lived first in Newark, New Jersey. You don't mess with people from Newark. I'm sorry, you don't. And then I lived in Lodi. Then, oh Lord, stuck in Lodi again. Then I got out of my stuck and went to Montclair. And then in Montclair, I met Dean. And the world fell away, and we became as one. And then we moved to California. Hey, I got a cousin on the call. It's Mary, and I know for a fact she's a Taurus. A tourist? Where? Ha, 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 ha. Newark. Okay, so Talitha, TBI, that's 2 messages today with TBI. So with that kind of information, you can do energy work, breathing, EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique tapping. You can actually go to someone who practices neuro-emotional technique, which I tried to get a degree in, but I'm not a doctor. Now they've lessened the limitations, and you still have to have certain qualifications in education, which I do not have. So chiropractors can practice this, and regular medical doctors. I recommend chiropractors because they're more about energy. And so you can use neuro-emotional technique, find a practitioner in your area, or emotional freedom technique. It costs nothing. Check out my videos on YouTube, and that will help you. So the Barbara Ann Brennan healing technique, when I started using her technique, I really opened up my chakras, and I started to see and feel so much more energy coming through. It was profound. So with every technique that I've tried or used, laying on of hands, Reiki, EFT, emotional freedom technique, NET, neuro-emotional technique, and the Barbara Ann, chakra energy, and then theta waves. There is a method. If you're a Christian individual, you might feel more comfortable with, it's called theta healing, and it was methodized by Vianna Steibel. I believe that's her name. And it does work with brain waves and unconditional love. And she's a Christian, so she caters to the Christian world. And it's not a religion. It's not based on religion, but she incorporates the God principle. And for a lot of people, that's necessary for them to understand that they are not powerless, because a lot of, I don't want to say everyone, but a lot of the mainstream Christian world will tell you that it's in God's hands, and God being the masculine, that it's in Jesus's hands, God and Jesus being the masculine, that it's separate from you, and it's not separate from you. So I appreciate that Vianna created the theta healing wave to help people use theta waves, which is very similar to what I offer, the Bodhi Brainstorm, but I don't attach a religion to it, or the God principle. So I don't look at God or goddess, I look at pure conscious love, because that's who you are. And the energy is everywhere. So now, does that help? I hope that helps you. So let me look at some of everyone's birthday. You were so kind to be patient. And so now, Sage, You're in a 1 year, my dear, so it's all about starting over. And starting over means to do new things. Do one new thing a day. Who else is here on a 1? I might get to that. Cindy, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cindy's also a 1. 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Nope. Okay, so Cindy and Sage, you're both in starting over phases. And starting over means you just came out of a really, wow, cleaning out closets, emotional and physical, letting go, turning the corner. Wow, right? So, but you're halfway through your 1 year. Now is when you need to be incorporating new things. Cindy and Sage, incorporating new things, one new thing a day, and it doesn't have to cost anything. Listen to one different type of music a day. Eat one new type of food a day. One new thing as you start to feel more confident and you work with all the energy stuff that I'm talking about and listen to the Bodhi Brainstorm, you're going to start to feel really inspired. Right? Let's hope. Okay, Laura Lee. Laura Lee. It's time to have some fun. Who else is 416? Shaida. Also a 5 year. Have some fun. Okay, now, in numerology, the number 5, sits on a rocker. So you look back, you go forward. You look back, you go forward. So things that you wanted to start or did start, an art project, arts and crafts, music, drawing, singing, painting, theater, travel, having more dinner parties or socializing more. And maybe it stopped along the way. Now you're going to revisit. It's time to revisit that even more and really share who you are and what you know. Not in an arrogant way, right? This is for Laura Lee and Shaida. I hope I'm saying that right. And you've got the power to connect the dots from the past to the future by being present. That is a powerful 5 vibration. And music, music, music. Chanting, chanting, chanting. Mantras, mantras, mantras. Over and over and over again. All right, I have to add, so please be patient. I hope this is helping people. Give me a yay, hey. What do you say? You're so welcome. Oh, Christine is, hello, get your birthday. It's a 12-2. Oh, you already know you're in an 8 year. It's powerful. We've talked about this, right? It is powerful. And you move into a 9 year next year. So, get as much as you can done now. But, okay. Kathleen, another 8 year. Okay. When we're in a last year for you guys, Kathleen, let me see, anybody else in a 7 or 8 year? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's a 6. Becky's in a 6. Hang on. Vicky. Oh, Vicky, you're also in a 5. And then, all right, Ismay is in a 9. That's a rough one. We're going to talk about that. Well, I shouldn't say it's rough. It's just more. More what? I don't know. Let me get there in a second. Rhonda is a 5. Hang on. 2, 7. Okay, 8 years, listen up. This is Kathleen, Christine, and Mary. Do you want to be part of this? Mary says, your voice vibrates a strong healing energy for me. I can listen to you all day. Really? Even if I did this? Stop touching me. Stop touching me. Hey, you, quit it. Stop. Hey, you. I'm hungry. Still want to listen to me all day? Mary, you are April. That's a 4. Not an Aries, though. Mary, is it 424? I'm forgetting. I know so many April people. Mary, just tell me. 424? I forgot. What is it? 426? 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Mary. Yay, Mary. No, that's not me. It's not. So tell me your birthday, darling. Is it 24 or 26? I can't remember. And then I'll give you a mini little look-see into your world. Okay. Yes, what? Yes, 24? By the way, when I speak, there's a 10-second delay before you get that information. Okay. All right, so 8 people. Number 8 people, we've got Kathleen. We've got Christine. We've got Rhonda. Excuse me. Last year, it would have been a 7-year. And that's more introverted research, development of self, spiritual connection, spiritual development. 8 years out into the world. Got to put it out there. What would you like to create? Whatever you want to create is right at your fingertips. So using all this energy work that I'm talking about increases your vibe tenfold so that you suddenly become that bridge. You become that magnet. Now, because Rhonda is a Gemini, it's important that Rhonda creates a mental bridge with energy as well, not just the body, but yes, be in your body. Because Christine is a Sagittarian, it's important that Christine allow things to come to her by trusting that she can work with others. Okay. And Kathleen is a July, she's a Cancer 8, and that means you know that you have power. You know you can orchestrate, let's say, the family. All right, everybody, we're having a dinner next week. Let's say you bring that, you do that, you call so-and-so, or you know you can do that. Now, letting people cooperate with you like a, Sag would allow the bridge to come their way. It's listening. All 3 of you need to listen more to who wants to help you instead of focusing on those who are not helping you and then seeing the same results. Does that make sense? So, Kathleen, especially now because it's a solar eclipse in your sign and a lunar eclipse in the opposite world of Capricorn, you need to stop taking it on. Too much. Way too much. Now, who'd I miss? Hang on. We got Lauralee. We got the 8s. All right, Becky's a 6. We're going to do Becky now. And then Mary is a 4. 10. That's a 1. And that's a 4. And Ismay is a 9, so 9, 4. We did the 5s. Cindy and Sage are 1s. We did that. And 5, 5, 8s, 8s, 8s. Okay, so Becky. Hang on. I'm coming back to something. Those in the 8-year, Kathleen, Christine, Rhonda. Next year is a 9-year for you. That means endings. People sometimes pass away or pets pass away. Old friends are no longer resonating the same frequency. You look at stuff in your world and you go, why am I keeping this collection of vases? I have 14. I don't even use flowers in the house. What's that about? So you're going to go through a purge phase. So the more you can build up steam energetically in this 8-year to do what you would like to do, to set the motion, to really be present with your vibe. It's not an arrogant thing. It's not making or manipulating, but it's contribution. How are you serving others? And how can you make that a bigger picture? Okay. Now, the 9-year gets bigger. So now, Becky, back to you. It is a 6-year that's all about family. So you had your fun last year, and next year is going to be really quiet. So enjoy the 6-year. And the 6-year is not just family. It doesn't mean kids and grandparents and whatever. It can mean the community, the larger family. So how would you like to contribute? But everybody, not at the sake of yourself, okay? Not at the sake of yourself. And Becky, if I don't know how old you are, but if you're looking to get pregnant, this is the year you can. Or adopt, or take on more pets, or take on those orphans at Thanksgiving because they have nowhere to go, right? Their parents live over there and they're over here or whatever. So as you bring more community and family together, you have a greater sense of service. And then next year, you can take a break, a long nap. Or as they say in Game of Thrones, it's the long night. All right. So, who'd I miss? Ismay, hang on. We're going to do Mary. And Mary says, I'm here with Joey Elizabeth, who will be 13 on August 1st. 13 on August 1st. Let's bring Joey into the fold. Joey Heatherton. Oh no. If your little Joey's listening, I don't want her to hear that comment. Okay, so Joey, I love that you're named after your dad. My cousin Nikki is named after her grandfather. I love that. Okay, so August 1. So let's put Joey down to 8-1. Oh, praise be. Last year was rough, but now I just want to sing some 60s or 70s song. This girl is a woman now. Okay, so Joey, you're in a 1 year. That means you need to have a lot more fun. And as you're developing who you are and who you want to be, start gravitating toward people or things that make you feel or help you to feel like you are validated. And now it doesn't mean to become needy and go, how do I look? How do I look? How do I look? Every 6 seconds. But I don't think that you're that kind of kid August 1st. You're a natural born leader and a teacher. So imagine that you could be a teacher's helper. What kind of teacher would it be, and what would you want to do? Art. Athletics. I'm echoing. Okay. And Mary. I can't not do that. Okay. It's a wonderful life, Mary. We've been around for ages, Mary and I. Ages and ages and ages. Mary, you're in a number 4 year. Okay. The thing about a 4 year is that it divides into a 2. So just like an 8 year divides into 2 4s. Do you want to work really hard all the time for yourself, for them, or do you want to find solutions? So a 4 year is about looking at, people will say, think outside the box. There are no boxes, Mary. There are no boxes. No boxes, except the ones that you put crap into and put outside for the trash, donation, to sell. Those are the boxes that you need to be focused on. Clean out the closets, get rid of the stuff that gets in your way, and this year will be a lot easier to handle because you're not supposed to be taking it all on. Now, when the 4 divides to a 22, that's about delegation, creative delegation. And that means bringing in a small community that it can be family, friends, associates, anyone that can help you figure out, how do I want to work it in the future? Do I want to be doing this all year, next year, all my life? How do I want to work this in the future? All right, think about that. And Ismay, you are not last or least. Oh, art classes. Yay for Joey. Hooray, because watch her go. All right, first of all, Mary's entire family, creative with a capital C. And Joey's right in there. And pretty soon she'll be leading the class. By the time she's 16, she will have her own arts and crafts class and or painting class and helping others. So Ismay, number 9. Number 9. Yeah, that's annoying, isn't it? So is a number 9 year. And a number 9 year is asking you to please let go of the things that no longer serve. Now, sometimes you feel good in a 9 year, even though you've kind of run ragged the past couple of years, and or you're healing from an illness and you think more toward the doom or gloom side instead of the gratitude side. So that needs to switch. And things that you make a list. Anybody who's about to enter a 9 year, Kathleen, Christine, Rhonda next year, and Ismay now, anything that you're doing that when you make a list and you think, I don't need to do that. Why do I think that? Why do I feel that? Why do I hold on to that? Anything you're holding on to is going to bring you down emotionally and physically. So start to purge. You let it go. I wish I could sing like, what's her name? Let it go, let it go. Yeah. The cold doesn't bother me anyway. Yeah. Well, sometimes, cold bothers me if I can't get warm. So we can always look at the things that annoy the crap out of us, but give yourself 5 minutes, set it on a timer, you're done. Go that way. And what kind of breathing? Inhale through the nose, exhale out of the mouth when you want to let something go. When you want to build power, it's closed mouth breathing. All right. And getting the help that you need, Ismay, is just a email away, a phone call away, a prayer away. So, but you have to allow it. Okay. And by the end of the year, by the next eclipse in December, we're hoping that between now and then, you realize that the gratitudes are what uplift you and the negative doldrums are what, weigh you down. And there's no regrets. No more regrets. No regrets. Well, that was my hour and 20 minutes. I didn't expect it to go that long, but it did. And I will be back. Thank you for being here, folks. And I hope I got everybody. Did I? Talitha, did I get you? Wait. Nope. I missed somebody. Sometimes I see the scroll later, and then I'll see comments that I didn't see while I was actually doing the thing. So 521. Another Gemini. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, a 2-year. That's refreshing. So in a 2-year, right before I wrap up, in a 2-year, it's all about me versus them, me versus the world, what I want versus what they want, what I want to give versus what they want to receive. And so your expectations in a 2-year are very big because you want to make that bridge between the extremes, And so that bridge for you is listen as much as you speak or give or serve. Allow yourself to receive, allow it to come your way as much as you give or speak or serve, so that you start to create harmony. And in that harmony, it creates a type of a balance that, it goes back and forth. But in a 2-year, you can actually work out things in any relationship with that attitude. So that if you're trying to get somebody to change, they're not going to. But if you change, then suddenly they magically change. I have a Harry Potter wand. Wand's at the ready. Do you understand? Does that make sense? Okay. Good. I don't know what no means, Talitha, because when I make a comment, 10 seconds later, you hear it, and then I'm already talking about something else. So then you say no, and I don't know what no means. So Luna, 10-2. All right, last one, and then I'm going Luna. 10-2 is... Oh, a 5. I talked about the 5s earlier with Laura Lee, Shaida, and Vicky, and that is fun, 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 till her daddy takes the T-bird away. Fun, 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 fun. Have fun, 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 fun. Because you look back, listen to this replay, because I really went into detail about 5s. But for you, because it's a 10, as a Libran, it's really important that you not go to extremes when you're having fun, and explore things that really make you happy. Gardening, singing, painting, cleaning up the closet, getting it to look like you work at Macy's, because you can be very fastidious, and you can also be very generous, but also limiting. So where can you expand your energy to help yourself feel free? That's your key word, is free. No, you didn't get me. I didn't get you? Okay. Did I now? I think I got you now. Gotcha. Tag, you're it. All right. You're so welcome, everybody. That was like speed dating. Joey, Mary. I will be back. I shall return. Let me look at my calendar. Today is the 12th. Happy birthday again, my sister, Laura. Tell Laura I love her. All right, next week, folks, Tuesday is the lunar eclipse in Capricorn. I will be back on Monday just for 30 minutes and 10 a.m. Pacific. Figure out the rest and look for my emails and such. Because I want to just recap some things about the lunar eclipse since we're already in play. I want you to be present, be aware from now, not to schedule anything major on that day. You got to take it easy, let things ride. I mean, this energy lasts for 6 months. But the most intense part is the week of, sandwiching the eclipse. So do what you can to make yourself happy, and then that vibe gets put out into the world, and I feel it. Thank you. Thank you. Be sparkly, be present. I wish you peace.